What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of 4 Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other 3 dummies. I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
I have Mr. Just One.
Hey, what's happening?
And I have Mr. Robert Detoff.
Show me your garbage.
So tonight we are going to, of course, look at another collection critique. You know the routine. Check your feelings at the door. If you want the uncut of this, please feel free to check out the 4 Dummies Uncut on Patreon. The link is in the description. And we are going to start with Kenneth B. Now, this, of course, is not to be confused with Kenny G, who is a hell of a
saxophonist.
Well, it's not a saxophone, though, is it? It's like a mix of a saxophone and another instrument, I believe.
It's still a sax.
Is it? But is it?
Yeah, it's just like a soprano sax, so it's like this weird looking one.
So Kenneth B has, I'm going to take the lead here. He has decided to put all of his eggs in one basket. and he has a very nice wall cabinet unit. And on top of that wall cabinet unit, he's put his masterpiece Transformers collection on top. And it's not horrible, but if you were to imagine this entire space as being, let's say, a Detoff shelf, we would
I legit was going to say that.
Yeah, we would gig you for the vertical space. And I think that if you did something to break some of these figures up where some were up taller than others to accentuate them, you'd be in a much better spot because you have the space.
Or some Robert D. floating shelves.
Oh, the floating
I think the first
shelves.
thing you need to do is move that Omega Supreme all the way over to the left corner. At least you have the 3 bots and like one on each side and then one in the middle.
Yeah.
But I do want to know what is in these shelves. Like, I'm more curious about what you house in
What's
this
in
unit.
the cabinets?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that in the middle bit, that's where the accessories are. Those shelves going down, like the drawers.
I thought it was like
but he's posed.
kids' class
Yeah.
projects.
You know,
Yeah.
So first of all,
They're posed.
he's got all.
I mean,
these
this is
good
fine, man.
figures.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's got good figures, and he's posed them all. And this shows you posing only goes so far.
Yeah, because I think you have enough space to house all these bots. You just don't have them displayed in any interesting way. And I'm not saying that to cut you down. Like,
Yeah.
I think there is potential with making this look cooler than how you have it.
Yeah. I think if you set up some floating shelves and then maybe got some risers, and I think you could, because it's too much. Like, you
Yeah, I
can't
agree.
see. It's too much. You
It's
can't
too
see
much.
what's going on.
and yet
if you split
not
them
enough
up.
in some ways.
If you split them up.
Fishing line. Look, I get it. He's got his Autobots.
We'll talk about that later.
Center all the way to the left, and he's got his Decepticons center all the way to the right. He has more Autobots than Decepticons. It looks disjointed because he has 2 big bots that are Decepticons, and he tried to make them symmetrical with a big bot on the left and the big bot on the right. Overall, it comes off looking really weird.
Yeah, it does look weird.
If you're going to have that like that, Omega's got to go in the middle of the Autobots. But this is a prime example of why the Autobots in general, not the Dinobots, not the combiner teams, but the run-of-the-mill, just like they don't display well. Autobots overall don't display well.
Actually, I think the same. I disagree with you, sir. I think the Decepticons display worse because I think the Decepticons largely are the same size, whereas the
That's
Autobots
the same as the Autobots are
have
too,
the Autobots have more of a variation. There's like that Grapple Inferno height, and then there's that MP car height, and then there's like the mini bot height. But I think for like the Decepticons, like if you look at his Decepticons, you got like Motormaster, the Coneheads, the Seekers, the Kang Toys, like a Soundwave, like they're all the same bloody height.
I don't know what's in the cabinets, but it may be worth taking the cabinet doors off and just using those shelves as your display space.
Get floating shelves and then separate them vertically between Autobots and Decepticons. If he split this on the x-axis and he put like the Autobots on top or whatever, the faction above and below, it would look better.
Yeah, the truth is you have this whole wall. That wall needs to be seen as your canvas. Imagine that wall as your canvas and look what you've done with it.
And as Laura said, transform your Seekers into alt mode and then put them on fishing wire.
I didn't say that.
That may work in this situation, though.
And don't display your figures in a hospital.
All right, and with that, we're going to move on to the next entry, which is Brian L.
Brian L., the Nona.
Yeah, Brian L. has a nice old faithful brown wooden cabinet with some figures in it.
He's got the IQ jersey going on.
Lid, it looks great.
It doesn't look bad, but here's the thing, right? If you look at it, let's pretend it's a Billy. It may be a Billy. And he has the glass doors on it, right? But he split the presentation of what you see in the glass doors outside of the frame. And that's what people didn't understand the last time that we got into this. It's not about putting glass on top of your bookcase. It's about how you split the display. And he, at least with the Dinobot shelf and the movie shelf, now those Autobot shelves in the middle, he fell victim to it. But like 3 out of 5 shelves here, he did split in half.
You know, it's weird about this thing because I think like in comparison to everything else, it's not great. Like the shelves aren't great. The lighting's no. But hold on a minute. But it works though, especially when you go to the picture when it's all lit up, like it looks good. You've managed to take something that I think we would have normally trashed and made it work. And I think this is an example of just putting some thought into it, making it work for your space. You know, and like he went one step further by building all like the displays that they're all standing on. Like I'm not mad at it at all.
I'm not mad at it either, but I have to be honest with you. He has these other 2 shelves of X-Men and Avengers with Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and some Avengers villains in another shelf, and I think they look better. You know, and once again, they're not plagued by the same issues. They don't have the kind of glass coverings over top with the seams that cut it down the middle. They're able to like live a bit more and they look a bit more natural. Like in particular, the X-Men shelf, he has like a faux X-Men arcade game in the back corner. And like if you scroll across, it looks like it could be the kind of fold out cover to some comic book event between the X-Men and the Avengers. And I don't know, it's like that is, to me, is just far more successful than what he did with his Transformers.
If you keep scrolling around like to the other side of the shelf, I'm just confused at the space. If this is just a guest room that you've kind of just turned into something nice, or if you're younger, like maybe you're still living at your parents' house, but like it's, you know, I like to figure out like what type of person is occupying the space.
Because there's stuff in
here. Everything's really put together nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's put together nice. Like I like he has that one Detolf with the 2 Macrosses, the 2 Voltrons, the Vehicle and Lions. They're both Soldier Jokin and they both look great. The Predator Arnold and the RoboCop. And then on the other wall, he's got like some like poem or something that's like framed. Like, I mean, all that works for me.
Well, you even keep going to the shelf with like the trains, and it's like there's a shelf with like a Batman, an engine, and then an RC, but it looks nice. I mean, it's just done. You've done a good job putting all this stuff together.
Yeah.
That would never make sense, I think, anywhere else, but it just looks clean. And I give this person way more props if they are like a college kid, just for how detailed and clean it is. I don't know. I was never that organized. I'm barely that organized now.
I hate to say it. He really did a grand presentation with the glass displays, with the lighting, but I don't like the lighting. I know it sucks to say it, but it's too warm.
Yeah, I agree. And those pucks are terrible. But
actually, I think the lighting is okay. I think the lighting is good, to be honest. Like I think it does it justice. Like it feels a bit classier. It
feels warm.
Yeah, it feels warm.
Dude, that little diorama with the Omega Supreme and the trees is cool. This guy, man, you're cool.
Yeah, you're cool.
Well, but I just want to say, I don't think there's nothing that we can tell you. I think you curated a space that works for you, that looks nice and it looks classy. Like I don't think you need to change anything just because it works for you. It's little things, but
yeah, I think you could fine tune this, but I think you're off to a decent start. Let's move on to the next one. This is Dan Z. This is not good.
Oh, dude, your first photo is a dirty shelf.
Is that mold?
This is nightmare stuff. Like,
dude, look, Robert, he's got it set up on his bed.
It's like a series of just getting started.
I'm still dealing with this mold.
You've got 18 versions of just getting started. You haven't picked one avenue. It's like you're trying on all different types of furniture to see how it fits.
You've got more backpacks than you do have ideas.
I love it.
I don't think your like square cube stuff is horrible, but outside of that, I don't see anything of much merit. It's like,
oh my god, oh my god,
yeah, it's rough.
It's wild.
He's got a like a giant desk with a mirror in front of his bed.
Well,
Yeah, that's
I
a no-no.
dig that. I dig that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, obviously, this like whatever this hutch like thing is not ideal. The blind picture, we need some risers if you're gonna put your figures in front of the blinds. Like they seem,
And
really,
those are
they
Hasbro
seem-
figures.
They seem really little in a big space.
Yeah, and like,
then this is Skylink's like all stretched out. I guess I don't know.
I don't even know.
What is that?
Yeah, I guess that Skylinks is a space shuttle. I don't know what all that other stuff is. It's like,
And what is that on top of? What?
yeah, I don't even know.
Because
Yeah, what is that? Is
It
that
looks
like a
like
foam
plywood.
pad?
It looks like plywood, and then
It
there's
does
like
look
this,
like
I bet
plywood.
you
but then
it
there's
is.
like
I
plywood
bet
on the
you it is.
side here too.
Let's look at this one picture where they have these cubes. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see like it may be a mirror in the back of it that's shining on to something else, but it looks like it like feeds through to like another plug and another set of cubes.
Okay.
Right.
If you move over to the right, it's a set of Batman figures. There's Batman, there's Thomas Wayne, there's like a classic Batman, there's Red Hood, and there's Nightwing. That's not awful, but they could use risers. Go down one and you see some sort of like animated sky warp in front of some books,
Harry Potter books.
which is honestly, it's one of the better ones. And then you go to the left and then you have a couple figures in front of some Harry Potter books, and that looks a bit out of place, but not awful. But if you slam all the way to the right, it's like you have, it's like a whole open shelf that looks like it has collapsed. There's books sitting cattywampus.
Dude,
It's like
that's
like,
a bat cave. Like,
but
he
like-
built a bat cave for Batman, dude.
This is justice.
like you can't be serious.
I've
go to
never
Fuse.
seen this book that's like Goodnight Batman, like Goodnight Moon. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't want to see it.
I mean,
Oh, now I know. You're getting it.
Let's move on. We're moving on to the last one, which is from Richard K. A lot of detolfs, a lot of glass. You know, the last picture kind of shows the whole space. If you're looking at it, there's elements of it that come across soulless, but
it's well organized.
it's well organized. And
well risered.
I think if I were to pick out the biggest like eyesore, I guess I should say, there's this one shelf of like these like drones or clones or whatever. It's like
bottom.
it's at the bottom,
Yeah.
and they're little, and they don't
space.
ground the space. That's my biggest initial takeaway. Robert, you'll be pleased to know that he has a Fort Max in there, and he's removed a detolf shelf to get it in there.
Are these all These are all G1 stuff, huh?
They are.
No, I mean it's beautifully
Exactly. If we're to look at this objectively and say, look, this is a G1 Transformers display.
and they are some sloppy toys.
Yeah, they're awful looking, and he's got them
He did a
all.
good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job. Even
No, but why wouldn't he put the Fort Max where the file cabinet is?
He's got shelves there.
Nope, there's nothing where the file cabinet is.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You could put the Fort Max there.
If he were to put another
Like the
detolf
way he said that. He could have put the Fort Max there.
coming through here, people. If he were to put another detolf in the middle there and put the Fort Max at the bottom with the Scorponok, but I don't know if he has the pieces. Like he may be maxed out. Like that may also be why the clones are in there. Like it may be like, look, this is a complete G1 collection, and I've got it all, and I'm trying to find the best way to allocate the space for it. I think you could do better in some spaces. If you look in the bottom right corner, there's like his quick
trash.
Yeah, like he's only got like 2 pieces down there in the corner. Stuff like that could be done better. But if you think about it, like he has like the original Transformers collection in a set of detolfs, and it's kind of fine.
Yeah, I kind of want to
the
play
boxes
with
on
these
top.
toys.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see how bad like some of these really were, and I remember being so hyped to have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
You should move those clone things into the center, onto the center shelves, man. They'd look better there.
Just set.
I don't know how
that
valuable those
file
are, but
cabinet on fire. Who cares about your bills? Why would you put?
Yeah, the
an
file cabinet's
ugly
got to go. The
metal
file cabinet's got to go.
File cabinet. Why would you put that in the center of your display?
It's got to
Robert's
go.
heated.
You have this beautiful display of G1 toys, and you put a steel black cabinet, dead center.
Dude, he's gonna hit you with like, hey, look, I know it's not great, but like my father passed away and it's like had sentimental value. And yeah, right.
That's your dad's will said, put me in your file cabinet.
It's where his dad hid all those G1 toys for Christmas
but
before
seriously,
he wrapped them, but he knew they were in there.
This is a pretty impressive G1 display. I would play around. I would get rid of the file cabinet, and then after that, I would play around with where you have certain shelves located within the display. But like, dude, I mean, you have a luxury, right? Like,
I wonder if like a Besta or 2 Calyx would fit where
he's got.
You may be able to get a Calyx in there sideways.
Where that file cabinet is.
I would also consider doing the pyramid where you put your biggest stuff on the bottom and then work your way up to the smallest stuff on top.
And he's got boxes on top. He tried to hide it, but he didn't crop.
But I think the G1 boxes are cool to display. Like if there's something about like, look, it's the original box. Like I think that works.
I think everything here is right except for the file cabinet. Get rid of the file cabinet, put something else there, and then relocate and reallocate shelves. And I think like you have a privilege, right? Where like this collection is done. Everything that's ever going to come out has come out. So you can buy the stuff that's meant for it and fill the space with it. And I feel like that's what you've done. It's just like play a little bit of Tetris and move the shelves around. And I think you have a really like an ode. I think this is a love song, man. Like I dig this.
I think I love it. I want to play with these toys.
But aside from that, I think you did a good job.
Kenny G.
Hospital gowns.
Zombie.
Bobby's bedroom mirror.
Oh, look at you, Bobby on his back, lazy lover.